On the local rally scene, the battle for the Three Sports Street Schools Rally Championship has been dominated by the outstanding performance of the new generation Group N cars. With new regulations reducing the airflow to the turbochargers, there is now only a small power advantage to the Group A cars like Joe McAndrew's Subaru Legacy. North and South Island competitors met for the first time this year at the Otago Rally. Wayne Munro has this report.
Here at the Shoreline Rally in Otago, we got a real problem. Who the hell is going to win this rally? Guys? I am! Yeah, okay. But who do the other guns think's going to win this Three Sports Street Skills New Zealand Champs round?
Oh, Joe McAndrew, I suppose. He says so. I don't know. I think we've all got a pretty good chance of winning it. You know, it's out there who does the job on the day, and I'm going to win. See ya.
It's going to be close, Wayne, I'd hate to say. We'll certainly be trying our best, that's for sure.
Oh, you won't get a decision out of anyone tonight, I don't think. I think it'll be real close. Anyone in the top 10. Okay.
Oh, we'll have a shot at it. You never know.
Greg,
Okay.
who's going to win it?
Neil Orford?
Don't think so. Over the check, mate.
Oh, no, we'll give it a go.
Joe McAndrew, followed very closely by Greg Graham.
Then Stu Weaver.
Well, we're just going to avoid all the ponds.
It's going to be a good battle with Joe and Reese and Greg. You know, I think it's going to be a good battle.
Shall I ask you again? How are you going to attack this rally?
We're driving to survive.
I think Joe's going to win, but I think Mark and Greg will certainly give him a run for his money. I hope so, put it that way.
Hey, modesty maybe prevents some of them from saying so, but as many as 10 drivers have come to Dunedin with at least a sniff of coming up a winner. Sure, defending champ McAndrew is a little down that leading Group A rival and second seed Brian Stokes hasn't been able to ready his Escort RS in time.
You need the pressure to go hard. You need that competition to push yourself to the limit, and it's just not as much there when, you know, like Brian's not there. I'm sure there's going to be other people that want that to push me hard as well, and no doubt it will happen. Rallying's pretty tricky as it comes. They're slowly catching up with the production cars because they're getting some pretty sophisticated gear inside them as well, but hopefully we've still got a little edge over them, and we'll hold them off for a little longer yet. We still have to, you know, try pretty hard and try and push ourselves now. If we do take off too easy, the Vaughan Group N cars will be snicking in and, you know, taking seconds off us, so you have to watch yourselves the whole way, really.
Will Orr's another scratching, but for the rest, the gang's all here. It's like 5th seed, junior rally champ Andrew Grant says.
Yeah, it's good to see everyone's together now. We've got the North Island, the South Island, all the top guns are here, so this is where everyone will know what the situation is.
Yeah, this is the showdown.
This is the showdown, that's the one. Yep.
Canterbury and Pukekohe rally winner Greg Graham is seeded 2 in his Subaru Impreza.
I don't want to get sucked into any silly fights tonight and just make it through the night. That's the first thing. Overall win, I'm not really, it'd be nice, but not really interested. But so I've just got to get that Group N points as many as I can.
Defending Group N champ Reese Jones is the first of the 8 Mitsubishi Lancer entries.
First time we've all met. There's probably any one of 6 chappies in Group N that could win it, so it'll be great.
Next, behind Grant, is Canterbury runner-up Mark Leonard. Jeff Argyle splits the ranks of the Mitzi men in his Nissan Pulsar, off 8th. Then there's Marty Rostenberg, well and truly on the comeback trail with his Rotorua Rally win.
It seems to have rattled a few cages and let everybody know that we're back into the scene again. We're going to start flat out, and as soon as the flag drops, we're going to give it everything and hopefully keep it on the road.
Robbie Lester, on the other hand, is hoping not to repeat his last effort.
Well, I'm here to survive this one. South Island didn't treat me too good 3 weeks ago, so we're here to survive.
Local Mike Turfus is out to achieve the potential he's shown, but hasn't quite been able to get out in the last 2 rallies.
There's a couple of stages out there which are pretty familiar, but a lot of them really, we don't really know anymore what the rest of the guys know, especially tomorrow. There's the two or three during the afternoon that I've never seen before either.
Then there's Brian Green, debuting his brand new Evo 3 Lancer. Ross Meekings has stopped thinking in terms of winning rallies. He just wants to finish one of the damn things after a disastrous run of retirements. Jason Gardner, on the other hand, runs his Mitzi in Group N Plus form and is rated by some a chance of pulling an upset victory.
Yeah, well, possibly. I would hope so.
The Three Sports Street Skills round will first send the field north towards Palmerston for 5 Friday night stages. Saturday's action continues as the rally heads south for another 8 stages down to Milton and return. The Sports Car Club doesn't prolong the agony. They get things started down at the Octagon on Friday evening. And the first stage, just out of town in the Flagstaff Forest, sets the pattern. It's slippery, very dusty, and very, very tricky. One of the corners catches McAndrew out. But unlike poor Brian Green, out in the first couple of Ks, Joe gets himself back on track, albeit half a minute later.
We had a big spin in the air and stalled it and had to reverse up, so we would have lost some time in the air, definitely.
Graham goes okay, but Leonard is even better, 8 seconds faster over the 17 kilometres.
Even just one car going through in front of us in places there's no wind in amongst the trees and couldn't not see, yeah. Bit dangerous. Pretty slippery, mate. Real slippery, eh?
But the winner of the stage comes from much further down the field. 11th seed Turfus, putting his local knowledge to excellent use, as in a 3-second win over Leonard.
Yeah, we got a bit loose in there a few times, and I don't know if we got any penalty damage or not, but I think we hit a couple of banks in there a couple of times, but we're trying pretty hard.
McAndrew's miscue sees Rostenberg, Jones and Grant clock faster times. Lester too. No dramas?
No, we're going too slow for that, mate.
Same story from Vanessa Slee, only more so.
I was useless. It wasn't a good stage for me. I just didn't come to grips with it real well. And no, I found it pretty slippery and pretty dusty in the eye. The dust is pretty bad.
Turfus carries on his hometown hero run, continuing to lead the rally, although Rostenberg and McAndrew are equal fastest on the second stage. But a puncture on stage 3 means on your bike, Mike. Turf loses almost 5 minutes and drops out of the top 20. And when Rostenberg runs second quickest to McAndrew on the same stage, he takes over as leader. Leonard stays in second overall through the early evening, but an off on stage 4 drops him to 5th. Now the Mac attack is really back on track. After his stage 2 tie with Rostenberg, the next 2 are all his. He's a hefty 15 seconds faster than anybody else over the 22k Waitati test. Help may be by a turbo boost problem for Rostenberg's Lancer. That completes McAndrew's comeback from 8th back into the lead. But boy, it's close. There's only 24 seconds covering Joe, Greg Graham, Marty, Reece Jones, Lenny and Andrew Grant. Already, Stu Weber has joined Green in retirement. Same too for Gardner, thanks to what looks like a fairly gentle off, but it's actually deceptively damaging. Christchurch driver Lee Marston also stares retirement in the face with this rollover. Turfus ends a night that started so well with a final stage spin. Rostenberg, on the other hand, closes the night with another stage win. But there's only a second in it, so Joe goes to the overnight halt with a 10-second lead on a restrained Graham. Is there anywhere to go 11 or 12 tenths tonight?
It wasn't really at all. It was, a short really day, and tomorrow's there's a lot of mileage. So, we're sort of trying to pace ourselves, but the people are keeping honest today.
What was your tactics with these blind brows? Just taking them a bit easy?
Yeah, I went on, go right up to them as late as you can, hit the brakes and just cruise over and see what's on the other side. The only really safe way to do it, I reckon. There's time to be made if you go flat over, but, you lose a rally doing that too.
Despite his mixed fortunes, Rostenberg is just a second behind, with Jones and Leonard next, the top 5 covered by just 32 seconds. Grant, Leicester and Argyle are next, within 2 minutes of the lead. Then there's Meekings, and, sensationally, Dean Buist in his Corolla. He makes 10th. 3 Sport Street Skills Division 1 round resumes. Turfus does the hometown hero thing again. So what that he's only just inside the top 20, around Flagstaff Forest, he's quickest again. But this time there's no mistake from second quickest McAndrew. And with Graham only 5th for the stage, the Impreza conceding 16 seconds to the Legacy, the Wellington driver opens up his rally lead. Only to come to grief in a major way on a nasty blind brow that already has notches on its belt. Greg Graham crashed here a couple of years ago. Joe's crash takes out the left front suspension. McAndrew and Bob Haldane losing 7 minutes as spectators help get him back on the road. And they drive the rest of the route on a wheel that doesn't turn so good. Well, not at all, in fact. McAndrew continues, but in 13th and angry with it.
Yeah, right, a few trick corners out there that probably should be cautioned by the organisers. Bloody crazy, but, these were expensive cars on the line just for a few laughs for the cameras. No good, really. The will cost too much, and, it's stupid mistakes by Will and the organisers, really. Pretty horrendous, I got a sore neck here and I don't feel too well. Well, the old neck's probably out of line a bit.
Rostenberg isn't so fortunate. His Mitzi is the first car to arrive at the site of Joe's woes after the Legacy and the safety triangle warning of the crash has gone.
The previous 3 or 4 kilometres was like a roller coaster ride, and there were a lot of brows and little kinks after the brows, and made the wrong decision and thought that one was the same, but it tightened up really badly and the car slid wide. And
Navigator Tim Uahand has hurt his back, and the car's hurt bad too. In the midst of the drama and damage, Graham wins the stage, taking a 42-second rally lead over Leonard. Grant and Leicester also overhauled Jones for the next 2 spots. In the midst of the bad news, something good, really good. Dean Buist in a Corolla with no 4-wheel drive, no turbo, is still equal 5th fastest with Vanessa Slee. It moves the Toyota Tearaway up to 7th outright, not far behind Meekings. McAndrew, running on mad, blitzes the next stage, starting a winning series that runs right through to the finish.
Yeah, well, we're trying, we want to get out there and there's a bit of an incentive to try and get there, so hopefully we can get back in the top 10 and even up higher, I still want to win.
But this rally ain't finished dealing out bad luck. Its hallmark tricky corners continue to catch out car after car after car, and so on and so on. This one on stage 10 cost Mark McDonald his 7th place.
What happened? I'm not telling you.
On stage 9, this corner gives Jones a hell of a fright. Ends up scaring quite a few others as well. was the beginning of the end for Leicester. He's punctured, and his attempt to drive out results in flailing rubber, damaging the wiring loom. But these guys, Mark Hall and Rolly Chettleburgh, damage a whole lot more.
Oh, no, not on video. Oh, no. Did you get it good? Oh, no, my car's flat.
Even Graham, just 22, but driving with the maturity of a 40-something, isn't exempt.
Corner and it's in full spin and ended up going down the road backwards to finish the stage. Oh, Dukes of Hazzard style. It looked quite neat, I'd say, yeah.
Leonard's undoing is a dead electric system.
The car was cut out. We spent 17 minutes on the side of the road fixing it. Broken wire, something similar to that, it's put us out.
The problems strike just after he's launched an attack on Graham's lead, falling back 12 seconds on the previous stage. For Cliff, a puncture almost ends up costing a lot more. And the drama continues. Now Graham's in gearbox trouble.
The third gear strip, and we're just tossing up whether to change it or not. If we change it, I think we're going to get into penalties and we'll probably lose the rally lead, definitely, actually. So we're just pondering upon changing the oil and seeing if we can struggle through the next two stages. The next two stages are only 11 and 8k, so we're just hoping that the gearbox will hang in there.
With Leonard out of contention, Graham holds a 3-minute 23-second lead on Grant, with Jones another 13 seconds behind at the end of stage 10. The lead comes down 31 seconds on 11, then another 17. And so, with one to go, Graham's down to just 2 gears and a 2-minute 35-second buffer. Really, he's only got to keep going. And he does it, claiming a 1-minute 58-second victory. It's the biggest win of his career so far, not only extending his New Zealand Champs Group N lead, but also putting him in the overall points lead. It's only the second time that a Group N production car has won a round with the National Champs outright. Feel good?
Magic, actually, yeah. It's really, really good feeling.
Boy, there was so much carnage out there. How did you avoid it all?
Oh, well, it's not that we didn't get close a few times, but no, I just tried to keep my act together and nice and consistent, and that worked the whole day, really.
Some of those blind brows and things almost catch you out?
We didn't really have any major grief on any of them, but they really do rattle your dags. Scares you a bit, yeah.
I didn't think you guys got scared at all.
Oh, I get scared all the time, especially when one stage, we look down at the clock and we're doing 210k, and I thought, no, this is too much, I'll put the brakes on, slow down a bit.
Grant and Jones fight for second to the end. The Northlander taking his one and only stage win, 2 from home.
Yeah, everyone's pretty well had problems, and it was a bit of a lottery. He was going to probably take it out, like the last few stages with Greg, no gears. So yeah, everyone's had problems, and a bit of a survival trip. Yeah, we had a puncture early on this morning, lost quite a bit of time, and I think Andrew had a couple of small problems, and then we clawed time back throughout the day. And then I think going to the last stage, we were 5 seconds down on Andrew.
But Grant holds on, finishing 18 seconds ahead.
I think consistency managed to bring us through in the end. It was a real tight finish. Reese was putting in good times. We were both charging really hard. Makes it really exciting, really good for everybody. It's my best result in a national championship round, so got to be happy with that.
Graham and Jones each won just one stage in the 12. And Grant, he's managed a couple of seconds at best. Meekings puts in a late charge to claim 4th, and McAndrew completes an amazing comeback. He wins 4 of the 5 stages after the crash and hauls back more than 2 minutes on Graham over 125 kilometres. It gets him home 5th. Would have been 4th but for 2.5 minutes of road penalties. And Buist, well, McAndrew and Meeking's big finishes cost him the 4th he held after stage 10. They bump him back to 6th. Still pretty damn amazing. That extends his lead in the South Island Street Skills Scholarship and puts him into the lead in the National Street Skills Challenge. Argyle is next, coming back from a puncture early on to run top 5 the rest of the day. Slee, Pukekohe Mazda driver Steve Pilcher and spectacular Starlet driver Tom Penrose round up the top 10.
And we'll have action.